The story today is provided by Wanwu Liang, narrating a strange incident experienced by her husband, Xiao Li, and his two brothers. The story took place in a small county in Zhumadian city, Henan province. In September 2012, Xiao Li drove his cousin to the city's train station at night and, to avoid boredom, he also invited his good friends Ahao and Dawei, all of whom were young men. After dropping off his cousin, the three of them had a late-night meal in the city and then returned to the county town. The city is not far from the county town, about 40 to 50 minutes drive, 10 minutes after getting off the highway and driving on the rural road to reach the county town. This incident occurred on this rural road. It was after midnight when they got off the highway, and there were not many people on the rural highway. They saw that ahead was the junction of two counties, where there was a bridge about 150 meters long. Dozens of meters away from the bridge, Xiao Li and Ahao, who was sitting in the passenger seat, saw through the high-beam headlights a woman with a good figure, long hair reaching her waist, wearing a long cheongsam, with a suitcase beside her, standing by the bridge. Ahao was very excited at the time, and everyone shouted in unison, "Damn, a beauty!" Dawei, who was sitting in the back, hurriedly ran to the front and asked, "Where, let me see." But as the car got closer to the woman, Dawei rolled down the car window and called out, "Beauty, we are driving to the county town." The woman, however, seemed not to hear, without even turning her head. The car just drove past. After driving past, Ahao thought that it was impossible for a girl to come out alone in the middle of the night. Perhaps she had a quarrel with her family and wanted to jump into the river. Xiao Li thought what Ahao said made sense and stopped the car. At this time, they were only 20 meters away from the woman. Dawei was very excited at this time, urging, "Reverse quickly, in case she really wants to do something, we can't just watch her die." Xiao Li agreed, backed up the car, getting closer and closer to the woman, until the tail lights of the car stopped side by side with the woman. Then Ahao and Dawei leaned out, and at this time, through the light of the tail lights, they saw that the woman was wearing a short-sleeved high-slit pink cheongsam, and the suitcase beside her was also pink. Her skin looked very smooth under the light. Because Ahao and Dawei were very close to the woman, they heard her sobbing. Dawei asked anxiously, "Beauty, where are you? Did you have a quarrel with your family? Do you need our help? Do you want to go home? My brother can accompany you." But the woman still ignored Dawei and continued to cry softly. Ahao was also anxious and comforted, "Beauty, don't cry, tell us what happened." At this time, Xiao Li, who was driving, felt very uncomfortable and was always on guard against this woman, so his car was always in gear, not turned off. Dawei wanted to ask again, if the woman still didn't answer, he would leave, and he leaned out again, reached out and patted the woman's arm, and asked, "Beauty, do you need a ride this time?" The woman finally responded, slowly turned her head and asked, "Are you calling me?" Dawei and Ahao screamed and shouted, "Run!" Xiao Li stepped on the gas, and the car rushed to the county town like an arrow, flying at a speed of 140 miles per hour, usually a 10-minute journey, and arrived in 2 or 3 minutes. Until they saw the street lights on both sides of the road, the three people relaxed a bit. Xiao Li slowed down and quickly asked Dawei what they saw. Dawei stammered and asked Ahao, "Brother, am I hallucinating? What did you see?" Ahao lit a cigarette, cursed a few words, and said that when he saw the woman's face, her face was like tree bark. Dawei listened and slapped his thigh, saying, "Brother, we saw the same thing, really unlucky." Xiao Li saw that these two friends were very scared, so he sent them home one by one. As a result, Dawei had a high fever the next day, and the family was busy, looking for many people to help, and it took more than half a month to get better. More than a year later, Xiao Li had dinner with a sister who drove a big truck, and the sister said that she encountered a strange thing when she was driving. Xiao Li hurriedly said that he also encountered a strange thing on a certain bridge. He was about to say, and an uncle directly interrupted his words, saying, "You don't have to say, I know what you saw. It was a woman driving with a suitcase, with long black hair." Xiao Li was shocked and hurriedly asked, "Uncle, how do you know?" The uncle said that many of his friends who drive have seen it there, but they know that thing is not clean. Of course, they won't make trouble. Because the nearby villagers said that the woman on the bridge hates men, especially men with lustful hearts, and she only knows that she didn't see Xiao Li driving past. Then, the uncle told a story. One night in the summer of 2006, a woman just came out of the train station. At that time, there were more black cars running at night, and there were fewer taxis. Black cars are cheaper than taxis. After the woman negotiated the price, she took a black car to go home. Who knows that this black car driver was a person with a criminal record, and when he saw that the woman was alone and looked beautiful, he had a lustful heart. When the car drove to a bridge, the riverside was planted with trees by the nearby villagers. The black car driver drove the car into the woods and raped the woman. He was afraid that the woman would remember his appearance, and later killed her, and threw the body casually under the bridge, until half a month later, a person who went fishing by the river called the police. When the police arrived at the scene, many villagers went to watch the excitement, and there were people on the bridge and under the bridge. When the forensic doctor examined the body had already rotted, but the villagers saw that the body was wearing a pink cheongsam, and the face was like a knife cut, with a big hole. There was a pink suitcase next to the body, which had been opened and turned over. After the murder, more than one villager said that when they crossed the bridge at night, they always heard a woman crying under the bridge, and the voice was particularly tragic. The story is over, and Xiao Li also understood what they encountered that day. In 2018, the city road planning widened the 2-lane road to 4 lanes, and the bridge was also widened. On the day of the bridge demolition, the person in charge of the project also specially did the Dharma for 3 days and 3 nights to ensure the smooth progress of the construction. On the day the bridge was completed, the Dharma was also done, and then it was opened to traffic. So, do you know the story of this bridge well? See you at the next story.